Shaltari Battleship Sprue. For the Shaltari Battleship Sprue, the core body of the battleship is simple enough in the three parts that go down like that, although painting them is going to be a little bit of a challenge to get into the underside. And you can have the engine upgrade or not. But then there are several different front pieces that can go on the battleship. And each of them has a different way that it's run. And I'm not 100% certain on magnetizing something this long to keep it tight enough on here to make it actually function. I could theoretically do a pin and run it through for stronger connection. That is a possibility. I haven't really considered it yet. And then there are also several different weapon options that can go in different locations to make different battleships. And there are quite a few options here. And then, to add to that, the side panels could actually use one of two different designs, but not every one of them has it. If every one of them had one or the other of these options, I could see trying to magnetize by cutting off one of the little nubs and putting a magnet inside of it. But not every one of them has it, and I don't want to have a magnet showing on the outside. So I have considered to build the ship as a lanthanum. That is a potential build idea. I haven't fully decided on that yet, and depending on how much I want to actually magnetize these, can also possibly build something different, but I don't want to make it too complex in the building. That just floats there somewhere. So the lanthanum has a very long front, and with that being that long, I'm not certain that magnets would handle itself pretty well. And so I don't want to overwhelm anything. That does look nice. And I think it could work, but it's questionable on how long I would want it to be. And I could always take this off and put this here, and this would technically be a thorium. So there are options where I could magnetize just the one front weapon option and have a couple of options there and have a little bit of variety, but having these panels these wings right here. If I decide on a single build, I need to consider that. Whatever the hull is going to be the deciding factor. Because it looks like the weapon option loadouts can change on different parts without much issue, but changing this front panel out to, say, this, to, I think that would be a silver. Still learning all of the different builds. Bronze. Yeah, the gold and bronze have this, and I could build a diamond or a platinum with this. There are several different ways that I could build them, and it would be interesting, but I don't think I can magnetize and pin and everything every option. So I think going for the first battleship, I will go for a lanthanum and have this point glued together, and I can magnetize the two weapon options to have all of the different options up top, and have a little bit of variety. For the Shaltari Battleship, there were many different fronts and weapons that I could have mounted in each of these, and there are also 3 different wing options, without, with this, and with that. And some of these are quite difficult to magnetize, and like this is a separate piece that would have been magnetized here. But with this long front weapon on top of this, double magnetizing when the point of connection is here, it was going to be lopsided, and this weight on this location would have pulled a lot. So instead of making the ability to do a gold and a silver and all of the other options, I just decided to glue the lanthanum. So I will have a lanthanum, and if I need to play it as a different option for a while, I can. I do not know what I'll actually do when I get a second battleship, but that is for the future. Perhaps I will just glue one of the other alternative fronts on. I think if I magnetized the upper for different weapons, that would be okay. But there are so many different options for this ship, the battleship, that I just think this is an acceptable first battleship. I will more than likely run the lanthanum with the current rules before I do anything else. So I figured that was worth just gluing. Of all of the ships that I've built, this is the one that seemed like it needed to be glued one way more than anything else. It just means I want to buy more of them in the future, right? Subscribe if you haven't so that you don't miss any future videos. I also want to thank my patrons and supporters for making these videos possible. And until next time, I hope you find your bit of bliss.